I had practiced every single answer. Every question, I was ready. But the moment the interviewer looked at me and said, "Tell me about yourself," my mind went completely white. Not one word. Not even my own name felt real. Welcome back to Fluent Speak Lab, where real stories teach you real English. The English you actually need, in real moments, under real pressure. Not grammar rules, not textbook sentences. If you want to speak English with confidence in your real life, this channel is built for you. Subscribe and let's build that confidence together, one story at a time. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of preparation. Every morning, alarm at 6 a.m., notebook open, practice session begin. Tell me about yourself. Practiced. What are your strengths? Practiced. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Practiced. I had answers for everything. I had written them down. I had said them out loud. I had recorded myself on my phone and listened back. I had asked my roommate to ask me mock questions while I cooked dinner. I was not going into that interview unprepared. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of the worst and the best interview of my entire life. The job was at a marketing company in Chicago, not a huge company, maybe 60, 70 people. But for me, fresh out of college, 1 year in the US, English as my second language, it felt like the biggest opportunity one had ever seen. The job posting said, entry-level marketing coordinator. I had applied without much hope. 2 weeks later, they called me. I remember standing in my kitchen when I got the email. My hands were shaking. Interview scheduled, Thursday, 10 a.m., in person. For days. I had 4 days. I started immediately. I found lists of the most common interview questions online. I printed them out, 2 full pages. I wrote answers for every single one. Then I rewrote them. Then I practiced saying them until the words felt smooth in my mouth. I paid extra attention to pronunciation, to pace, to not speaking too fast, which I always do when I'm nervous. I stood in front of my mirror every evening. Suit on, posture straight, eye contact with my own reflection. By Wednesday night, I felt ready. Not just ready, confident. I texted my mom back home. I think I'm going to get this job. She replied, I know you will. Thursday morning, I woke up at 7, got dressed, looked in the mirror one last time. I looked professional. I felt professional. I took the train downtown, found the building, took the elevator to the 14th floor. The receptionist smiled at me. Sarah? Yes, I said. They're ready for you. I walked into the conference room. 2 people were sitting at the table. A woman, the hiring manager, and a man I later found out was the team lead. They both smiled. Warm, normal smiles. The woman said, Hi, Sarah. Thanks for coming in. Make yourself comfortable. I sat down. She opened her folder, looked at me, and said, So, tell me about yourself. And that was it. Everything I had practiced, every sentence, every word, every answer I had written and rewritten and rehearsed for 3 weeks, just disappeared, gone, like someone had opened a drawer and found it completely empty. The silence lasted maybe 4 seconds, but in that room, it felt like 4 minutes. I could hear the air conditioning. I could hear someone talking in another office down the hall. I could feel both of them watching me, and I could feel my face getting hot. Say something, Sarah. Anything. Just start. But my brain was doing something strange. It wasn't blank exactly. It was too full. Too many versions of the answer were fighting each other. The one I memorized on Monday. The one I rewrote on Tuesday. The shorter version. The longer version. And while all of that was happening inside my head, on the outside, I was just sitting there, silent, staring, slightly past the hiring manager's left shoulder. She said, gently, Take your time. There it was. Those words again. Take your time. And something interesting happened. This time, unlike the burger place, those words actually helped. Because I realized something in that exact moment. She's not testing my memory. She's not checking if I can recite a script. She's trying to get to know me. So I took a breath. And instead of trying to remember my practiced answer, I just started talking. I said, Sorry, I just want to make sure I give you the right answer. So let me think for just a second. She nodded, smiled, and I started. I graduated last year, communications major. I've been really interested in digital marketing, specifically content and social media strategy. I actually ran the social media accounts for my university's student newspaper. For 2 years, grew the Instagram from around 400 followers to just over 8,000. That experience made me realize this is what I want to do professionally. Not perfect, not exactly what I rehearsed, but real and clear and mine. She leaned forward slightly. That's impressive. Tell me more about that Instagram growth. And just like that, the conversation started flowing. Not because I remembered my script, but because I let go of it. Here's what I understand now that I didn't understand that Thursday morning. Memorized answers are a trap. They feel safe when you're practicing alone. But in a real conversation, with a real person asking real follow-up questions, a memorized script breaks down immediately. Because real conversations don't follow scripts. What actually works is something different. You don't memorize answers. You memorize anchor phrases. Short, confident phrases that start your answer. And then let your real thoughts fill in the rest. That's the skill. And I'm going to give it to you right now. Here are the exact phrases and techniques that will carry you through any English job interview, even when your brain wants to freeze. First, how to handle the blank moment. Every interviewer expects some thinking time. The mistake is going silent. Instead, use these bridge phrases. That's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment. I want to make sure I give you a thoughtful answer, so to put it simply, what immediately comes to mind is these phrases do two things. They buy you 3 to 5 seconds, and they make you sound calm and professional, not panicked. Practice them out loud right now. Seriously, say them. Second, anchor phrases for the most common questions. Tell me about yourself. Start with, sure, so I have a background in. And most recently, I've been focused on. What's your greatest strength? Start with, I'd say my biggest strength is. And a good example of that is, why do you want this job? Start with, honestly, what drew me to this role is, because I really want to. Tell me about a challenge you faced. Start with, one situation that really stands out is when. What I did was, and what I learned from it was. These anchor phrases are your entry point. Once you start, the rest follows naturally. Third, what to say when you genuinely don't know. This happens, and it's okay. Here's how to handle it professionally. I haven't encountered that specific situation yet, but the way I would approach it is, that's something I'm still developing, but I'm actively working on it by. I don't have direct experience with that, but from what I understand, honesty plus a forward-looking statement. That combination always lands well. Fourth, how to close strong. At the end of most interviews, they ask, do you have any questions for us? Never say no. Always have 1 or 2 questions ready. What does success look like in this role in the first 90 days? What do you enjoy most about working here? What are the next steps in the process? These questions show confidence, curiosity, and genuine interest. Now, about Sarah. She didn't get the job that day. She got a call 2 days later. The hiring manager said, and I want you to remember this, she said. We really appreciated how composed and genuine you were in the interview. Composed, genuine, not perfect, not flawless, not scripted, composed and genuine. That Thursday, Sarah walked into that room trying to be perfect. She walked out being real. And real, in any language, in any room, in any interview, will always be perfect. Here's what I want you to take from today's story. Preparation matters, but connection matters more. You don't need a perfect script. You need anchor phrases, a calm breath, and the courage to let your real thoughts come through. Your challenge this week, pick one question from today's lesson and practice your answer out loud. Record yourself. Listen back. Do it again. If this story helped you, share it with someone who has an interview coming up. Subscribe to Fluent Speak Lab because next week, another real story is waiting for you. You are more ready than you think. Keep going. I'll see you in the next one.